event activities, then I can utilize that, or rather I can say any particular specific conditions I want to apply, that I can apply here. Then change field definition. Change field definition means, let's say that whatever the standard characteristics one field have, if I want to change that particular field characteristics, then I can go ahead and come and write it here. So majorly these four methods: process event, get data, get definition, and change field definition. These four methods are mainly required. I'm not saying that the rest of the methods are not at all required. It will be, but the the thing is that it is not needed for the regular basis. Okay. So now the first thing what we need to do, we will come to the get data. And here you can see we have written some piece of code. What is that? Okay. So the first thing is we need to understand that this is the standard code, standard ABAP code, and we will now create some enhancement point, or implicit enhancement, or some post exit, pre exit, etc. So there are two things. One is either you can go with this enhancement sections by using the implicit enhancement, or you can create the post enhancement or post exit. So basically, what is the meaning of this post exit and implicit enhancement? So basically, if I want to add some additional logic along with the standard logic, I can add up my own logic by using either post exit or through the implicit enhancement. Whatever you see, this is nothing but the implicit enhancement. That means I have the standard code, I'm just adding my piece of code end of this. Now there are two ways to deal with. One is either my code will fire the beginning of the standard code, or my code will fire end of the standard code. The best practice says let the standard code fire first, and then our code will fire accordingly. So because of that reason, I have maintained our piece of logic here. Now the next thing which we need to look into, that is the signature. That means what are those parameters we have in terms of inbound parameter and outbound parameters in this particular method, because every method having some certain parameters. Okay, so those parameters are responsible to bring the data into this method and carry out the data from this method. So here these are all different parameters, whether it is a IO event, some ET messages, and then CT field usage, CS data. So these are all different changing parameters. So basically three types. One is the importing parameters, which are responsible to bring the data inside the method. Another one is the exporting parameter, which is moving after processing, moving out the data from the respective method to the next level. And another one is the changing. Changing is responsible for bringing the data into the method, processing, and after processing, move it out from the method. So both activity manage. So one of the important parameter is CT field usage. Okay. Then CS data, then CT action usage. These are all definitely important parameters. Why important? We will see that. Now, so the first thing which I have taken, that is field symbol. So for those who are not aware about this logic, so basically we are going to deal with the object oriented concept here in order to write some piece of logic. So basically object oriented concept talked about the field symbol. So field symbol is nothing but a pointer, if I tell you in a very simple way. So it's a pointer. So the idea is that I may have some tables, I may have some structures, I may have some line item, I may have some uh, data element or field, whatever it is. So in order to manage those details, I can use one simple field symbol, and I can manage them by feeding the data as a pointer. So here I have taken two pointers or two field symbol. One field symbol is related to this structure, and another field symbol is any. It can be table, it can be field, it can be structure, it can be line item, it can be anything. Okay. Now this particular structure, why I am using this structure? What is the necessity to have this structure here? The idea is, if you see, particularly if I go inside this structure, in this structure I have something called name, that means the attribute name, then read only, because why necessary? Because I want to make some certain field read only. Then mandatory, because I want to make certain field mandatory. Then I have enabling, so to make this some data enable or disable. Similarly to visibility, to make certain field visible, invisible. Fixed value means nothing but the F4 values. Okay. So that means this structure is very important from the angle what we are trying to do, the field property activities, right? So everything is supporting by this particular structure. That's why this structure has been maintained here with the field symbol. Then what we are saying, that we are looking at city field usage. So city field usage is nothing but one changing parameter. Now what is the necessity of using this or loop this particular parameter? The reason is, if you see, this parameter is also associated with the line item, and then the line item associated with the same structure which just now we have seen, where we have the attribute name, read only, mandatory, then link, visibility, fixed value, etc. Okay, so that's the reason we maintain this respect to the field symbol. So now what we did, so we say that loop at city field symbol assigning this one. Why this one? Because this field symbol having this particular structure, and similarly city field usage is also having this structure. So it's as they have the same structure, we are assigning them. If they have a different structure, then we cannot. Otherwise, it will create the structure mismatch error. Okay. Now, the first thing from this structure which we need to utilize, that is the name of the field. So first, the name is assigned, and the name is nothing but MATKL. MATKL is nothing but the uh, material group. Okay. And what we are saying in the next line, that is the mandatory. So here, mandatory. Now, if I go to the data element level, uh, domain, range value. Now it has a value like flag check X. X means above true, blank means above false. That means if any field having X, that means it is a mandatory. If any field having no X or not set for flag, then it will be not mandatory. So what we are doing here, we just maintain the this field symbol fs underscore usage mandatory X. That means this field matkl will be mandatory for this particular logic. Okay. Same logic continue for unit of measure. Unit of measure, probably you are thinking, but unit of measure is already mandatory field. Then why you are making this in unit of measure mandatory field? Remember that the moment you use this logic, it is not only it is not only making your field mandatory, also it will allow you to get this asterisk mark. Okay, this mark which is indicating that it is a mandatory field to fill up. Okay. So that's the, but by default in standard base unit of measure did not have. So that's what I'm using this logic to just have it. Otherwise, the logic is remain same. Similarly, for BISMT, BISMT is nothing but the old material number. So now you see here also city field usage, and then the field symbol is assigned, and the name is BISMT, and it is visible 01. Now we have to understand. Previously we have seen that X, now why it is 01. So let me show you visibility. Go to the visibility domain and range. Here the 01 is none, means if it is 01, I can't visible. If it is 02, then it is visible. So it is not always X or Y or no. We have to come to the respective data element, and there we need to see what it has been maintained in the domain value range. So that value we need to put it there. Okay. So if I put, let's say here X, then it will create a dump because this value is not present respect to this particular field. Okay. Now one more thing, I said that I will create another field which is for authorization group for read only. What I will do, first of all, I need to enhance this. So click on this spiral button, then click on change. So, okay. Rest of the things are remain same. Only the field name I need to change. Field name I change, and next thing I need to see, that is mm, read only, right? Read only domain value range X. X means above true. So here it will be X. First thing. Second thing is the field name. Read only. Read underscore only. Okay. Now, okay. What I will do, this one, and this was, I will make it 02 just to make it visible for you. Visibility. Visibility. Okay. Then, okay, come out completely and activate it. So once you are done, now let's move on. Now, if you open the old change request and if you see, oh, I cannot see any change, no, it will not impact on the old one which you already opened. Rather, it will impact on the new one which you are going to create. Okay. So now I'm going to create a fresh request. There we can see the reflection of these changes. Okay. So here I can see authorization group. It is now read only. old material number is now visible. Earlier it was not. Okay. Now you can ask me why to old material number it is appearing. That is something which is I need to see. Probably this someone was trying to add the same details, same field, because you can see the arrangement of the fields are also changed. So I assume that someone was trying to play around with this. So because of that reason, okay. So someone has probably added two old material number in the screen. That's what. So anyway, that is a different story. Anyway, so just focus on the whether it is mandatory field and material group base unit of measure, which is a mandatory fields. Click here. Okay. Yeah. So this is one area which is talked about how to make certain field mandatory, certain field grayed out and visible. Now another one is how to make certain field value as a F4 value. Normally what happens, we use the search help, right? So we know that in one of the example today only for material what we have seen, the custom entity type what we have added. Let me show you one more time. Mm, Go to the data model, data type. So let's say this one. So this is the custom entity type, and here we have maintained the search help, which is related to the plant data. Okay. Now this is one of the way that we can create the search help, and we can do that. But the another way is we can uh, we can make it we can make it programmatically. Okay, how to do that? Let's say for an example, authorization group. Authorization group does not have any F4 value, but I want to make it as a F4 value. How to do that? Or any custom field I want to create that I want to make it F4 value. Okay. Okay. The first thing what I need to do, I need to first, if I deal with the authorization group, then I need to first make it as a editable rather than the read only. Otherwise, I cannot select the F4 values. Okay. So I will go to the get data first, and I will change this. So click on enhancement, select this enhancement spiral, click on change, and mm, authorization group. I can put it blank. Activate it. Okay. Now next thing is the same field I want to make it as a F4 value. Then F4 value means the another method which I need to go, that is the change field definition. Because now by standard this field does not have any additional values. It's just a free text kind of a field, but I want to now change the characteristics of the field and bring some values respect to that. So what I need to do, I need to click here, and then I already have written some code, but I made it commented out just because of, I will show you one by one. So now let me, okay, and the field name is, okay. Now let me help you in this particular piece of coding. So again, the same concept we applied. So this is the standard code. So we just let the standard code execute and then we created our enhancement. Now in this enhancement, first we have taken couple of local variables. The idea to have the local variables is one is just indicating some attribute and another one is just indicating some, if you see the structures. The structures having two things. One is the value and one is the text or the description. Okay. Now why this is necessary? Now, okay, first let me execute first and then I will explain the code. Okay. Mm, Here, authorization group, and now you can see, okay, one is uh, the value and another one is the description. Okay, value and description. So basically these two things which is appearing in the F4 values. So that's the reason we maintain this structure, because this structure contains two things. One is the technical name and the description. Then again, we have some field symbol, which is indicating some table and etc. And then we call CT underscore definition. So what is this CT underscore definition? CT underscore definition is one changing parameter. So this is one changing parameter which is associated with this structure, which is having more or less same details what we have seen earlier, that attribute name and then fixed values. Fixed values are for F4 values. Okay. Then level text. Level text means any hypertext if I have. Okay. These are all different links. uh, So many things. Okay. Then next is, so we are assigning this into this ls underscore definition. Ls underscore definition is having the same structures what ct underscore definition contained. Otherwise, it will be a structure mismatch, of course. Then from this structure, structure, we are taking first the field is name, the field name, and we are putting it into this local variable. And we are saying if the field name is this authorization group technical name, then feed these two things. One is the field value and another one is the description. So I just meant test one and test one description. Similarly, value is test two. And this is description. Same way, save it, activate it. Okay. and now again execute. So 101. Yes, we have. Okay. So description and the value. Okay. So this is another thing which we have. Now the next thing is to make certain field value as a default value. So if I want to field any certain field value as a default value, then how we can do this? So if I see, let's say, for an example, now let me take some other feeder class because it is not good that we will see everything within the same feeder class. So I have taken another feeder class. And what about this feeder class? This feeder class is a feeder class of the change request. I'll show you that. What exactly that? So now here, let me again in this feeder class, process event, get data, get definition. These three things are very important. Three methods. Now go to the process event. Now here in the process event, this is the enhancement. Now click on this enhancement and change. Okay. So let's say hello world. Okay. First let me execute and then I will come back and will explain the code. So let me go there. And and here we okay, wait a minute. We have another logic which is running in parallel. That's what this is not reflecting. So let me suppress that logic. Okay, I just commented out another logic. Now let me